Let's start then. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param. Okay, he had said that discovering your identity with me, Krishna consciousness, not Krishna consciousness that is ISKCON, Krishna the consciousness, okay. He says, there is no Punarjanma, etc. So contextually now, he is talking about other lokas, etc. Now, this is a matter of what we call indirect knowledge. Okay? Why indirect knowledge? Because Veda is supposed to give you knowledge about things that my pramanas can't figure out. Is there life after death, etc.? My pancha pramanas at this condition cannot figure it out. Of course, if both of us die at the same time and go to the same place, I can tell you, dekha na, bola. But since that is not going to happen, we have to accept the Veda for it. Some things that the Veda says can be verified. Some things cannot be verified. That your consciousness is not verifiable or otherwise, it has to be validated by each one of us, by our own knowledge. That karma, karma phala, etc. can be validated by experience. Okay. So now he here says something here, because we talk about 14 dimensions of existence, 14 lokas. This what is perceivable today, this is bhuloka. Okay. Yeah. Then he says, A Brahma Bhuvanan Lokaha Punaravrittino Arjuna Mam Upeitu Kaunteya Punajarmana Vidyate. A Brahma Bhuvanan Lokan. Right from Brahmaji's loka onwards down to earth. And of course, lower lokas understood. Now, higher and lower are not based on direction. Okay? Because what is up and down? Up and down is completely related to how you are standing. What is up for us is down for the American, and vice versa. So up and down is in terms of the quality of your experiences. The more joyful experiences, more up you are. More miserable, the more down you are. Okay, so up and down is in that term, the quality of your experiences. Of course, human mind is great. It will find some way of being miserable wherever you are. You know, it's funny. For want of money, you are not happy. Overnight, you got an inheritance 25 crores after taxes. You should be happy, no? 25 crores after taxes. It's pretty decent amount. You can have a nice middle class life, upper middle class life. Do you think you are going to be happy? For some time, yes. After that, you are going to crib about taxes, you are going to crib about this. I pay so much of taxes till the roads are like this. You want to see the road? Come down my road sometime. I dug up the whole road. You'll always find something to crib because the heart is empty. The heart is empty. nothing is joyful. So he says, Brahma Bhunan Lokan. Right from Brahmaji's lok, the highest loka, the seventh heaven of delight, downwards. Punaravrittinaha Arjuna. There's a return. Logical. Why? You went there on the strength of your karma. The result of karma is limited. Other than earth, all lokas are bhoga bhumis, meant for enjoyment. So you go to those lokas, you enjoy, suffer, depending upon how good your karma is. And then, once that karma period is over, what happens? Punaravrittinaha. Kshine punye martilokam vishanti. On some basis of some currency that you have, you went for a holiday abroad. Great place. But you don't have a permanent visa. You don't have residency rights. After that was over, you are supposed to return. Same way here. Brahma Bhunan Lokan Punaravrittinaha Arjuna. Okay. Whereas Mam upeti kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Once you understand that you are that limitless consciousness, punarjanmaha na vidyate. Because what is your birth based on? Past karma. Karma is based on ajnanam. Ajnanam gone. If ajnanam is gone, what is the need of another janma? For whom is the other janma? You are no more a finite being. You are the limitless consciousness manifest through this finite body now. See, when you are studying Vedanta, you think, I am a finite person trying to understand limitless consciousness. Once you know, I am the limitless consciousness functioning through a finite body. Body is based on karma. Karma will drop. Sometime or the other will drop. However long the life is. Yeah. And once it drops, what happens to you? If you know the truth, you remain as limitless consciousness. If you don't know the truth, your karma is in the account of the jiva, the ahankara. Jiva is ahankara minus the body, that's all. So, you travel according to the strength of the karma. What is the connection? What part of the jiva is in connection with the karma? Your causal body. Karna Sharira. That's why it's called Karna. So, you go. Until when? Until you know the truth. Then, fine. So you choose how long you want to wait to know the truth. Your choice. Okay. I mean, you can be like my friend's sister. At her 50th birthday, my friend told her sister, my friend is a Vedanta teacher, okay? Told her younger sister, hey, you're 50 now. Don't you think it is time for you to get involved in a bit of Vedanta and everything? He said, no. I want to come back for a few more lifetimes to enjoy life. Only then I will take up to Vedanta. The need to enjoy life comes from two factors. Okay. One, it is natural for a living organism to seek joy, fulfillment, etc. In fact, if you can't enjoy life, there's something wrong with your pleasure center in the brain. Okay. Either physiologically damaged or conditioned. I remember once attending a program where There was a reformist Islamic leader, a reformist. Okay. He had come with his 2 wives and 3 children. He's a reformist, okay? Very well known in Bombay as a reformist Islamic leader. But, hey, Miya Bibi Raji to kya karega Kazi? They are all fine with each other, fine. And this program was for youngsters, all below 21. Okay. So at meal times, lunch time, dinner, breakfast, tea time, you expect all of them to be seriously eating. So whenever there is a burst of laughter from some table, the guy would look at them disapprovingly. I'm sure he was not pathologically damaged, but conditioning wise damaged. If you're going to have fun, there's something wrong with you. You know, there's something psychologically wrong. The other is your need for moksha. The need for moksha expresses itself as wanting happiness, wanting joy, wanting fulfillment. And according to a culture, upbringing, thinking, reading, this, that, etc., we have decided what will make us happy. So all of them can help you manifest the ananda that you are to an extent. But remember, it's a manifestation. So whatever is manifested becomes a new normal. After some time, it becomes a new normal. Like an ashram in Rishikesh, especially those days when I was a student there, was one of the most beautiful places in the Himalayas. Temperature wise comfortable in the winter. It's blue. Ganga is blue in color, everything. Beautiful. But for us who have been staying there for years, it is normal. No? When we first land up there, oh, so beautiful, Ganga, 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 Maya, come on, I'm going for a dip, all that. After that, अरे एक हफ्ता हो गया गंगा का dip नहीं किया, go have a dip. Why no, this is a new normal. Then somebody will come and say, this is such a beautiful place. Then we look, it's very beautiful. Why? What was taken as beautiful is a new normal. Like for Mumbaikars, our train travel, etc. is normal. No? For somebody coming from outside, they wouldn't be able to get into any of our trains. Get them a first class ticket, even then they won't be able to get in. For us it's normal. Second class में भी चले जाएगा. But that's what you're used to. Okay. So Abrahma Bhuvanan Loka Punaravarti no Arjuna. Why coming back? Because you have to pick up the cross again. To use a Christian expression. Why? Your journey is towards moksha. So you have to be on earth. This knowledge is available only on earth. Or directly with Brahmaji. Go to him and learn. To go to Brahmaji is very difficult. To come to Brahmavid is easier. Okay. You just have to be on Zoom at the particular time, you get it. Okay. Therefore he says, until you realize, I am that limitless consciousness. Punarapi jannam, punarapi maranam. Punarapi janni jatare shayanam. You know, but the human mind tends to romanticize. There are so many songs like this also. Oh, those childhood days. What is that? Oh, Kagas ki Naiya. There's some song like that, no?
कागज के कश्ती.
Romanticizing, I'm telling you. Sheer romanticizing. You think any of us really liked our childhood? From morning to evening, you are told, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. It's only adults who have forgotten their childhood who romanticize it. वो बुढ़िया जिसको अम्मा कहते थे, मैं grandmother etc. You were dragged to your grandmother, you didn't want to go. You wanted to play with your friends. And she gave you a lot of sweets to eat when you visited. Yeah. Again, oh, grandmother, this, that, etc. Romanticizing. My grandmother was a decent woman, okay? Very nice person. Decent. And I remember how she got bugged at me once. Why? She was a bit hard of seeing. So she thought I was my elder cousin standing there. And she was berating me. Yeah, Daulat bhi luto. Correct, that's the one. That's the one. Romanticizing. So the grandmother was berating me, thinking I am my elder cousin. And I am standing there listening to her. Then she wore her specs and realized I am not the elder cousin. And she got bugged at me for standing there and taking that. I thought, it is not me. I can handle it easily. My elder cousin, poor guy, will get very upset. She's not talking about me, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So it's not that grandmothers are always all sweet and nice and everything. They had their own issues. They're human beings. Yeah, come on. They have their limitations. They have their good side. They have their limitations. It's all normal. Don't romanticize things. Take a good, long, hard look at your life and decide. Are you satisfied? Are you settling for something less? Or you want something more? Yeah. That's why among all the bhajans and the poems, etc., that I have read, and believe me, whether it is in Hindi, English, whatever, there's some very beautiful poems. But half of it is romanticizing. The one thing that takes a cold, hard look at your life and presents the opposite view, not the truth, but presents the opposite view of romanticizing, is Bhaja Govinda. Read it. It's not something I have to explain. It is presenting the opposite of the romantic view. Yeah. Complete opposite. Yeah. A very, very hard-headed look at your own life. It's lyrical, it's beautiful. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. Samprapte sannihite kali, nahi rakshati dugran karne. Seek Govindam, the reality. Why? When the time of death approaches, all your knowledge is going to save you. Yeah. It doesn't spare anyone. Householders, monks, everyone. Right? Take a hard look. Yeah. It is as though he foresaw people like Deepak Chopra being mentioned in that files. God is a construct. Pretty women are a reality. Pretty woman is a construct. For a spiritual teacher, God is a reality. Because a pretty woman is nothing but a manifestation of Ishvara. Everything is a manifestation of Ishvara. It's not a construct. Unless you are looking at it purely intellectually. You are studying different philosophies and saying, this is the distilled version, wisdom. There is no distilled version, wisdom. There is Vedanta and there is everything else. Simple as that. Yeah. So it doesn't leave any spiritual teacher also out of it. Okay. Hard-headed look. Therefore, Brahma Bhunan Lokan Punaravartino Arjuna Mam Upetit Kaunteya Punarjanmanna Vidyate. If you understand me as a consciousness as non-different from you, remember Isha Darshanam Atma Rupataha. No vision of the Lord is complete unless you see Him as yourself, as pure consciousness. Tomorrow is Shivratri, a day to be spent in prayer, contemplation, fasting, Yatha Shakti, as you are capable of. I have had a stomach upset. Last 3 days I am fasting. So I don't know how much I will fast tomorrow also. Unless the Lord wants me to extend it by one more day. Yeah. So all that is preparation. We all have lopsided, one-sided view of Ishvara. Ishvara Jnanam is never complete unless you understand that Ishvara and you are one and the same. Until that understanding comes, sadhana goes on one side to prepare your mind, learning goes on the other side to get the knowledge. And both of it go hand in hand. Before you know it, you got it. Swamiji seems to take a long time, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It was a big deal. I mean, you're not getting a doctorate where you're willing to spend 5 years of hard work. This is much more. Yeah. This is much more because you're after the limitlessness, not after something small. That doctorate, etc., is within the game of life. This you're getting out of the game of life. It's a big thing. So it's okay if it takes time. Okay, that's why he says in the next verse. Okay. Next words, he is giving you some perspective of what we call time. Okay. Because we are saying 5 years, 10 years. See, we measure time at the most in human terms, in archaeological terms. Okay. What about Krama Mukti? Yeah. There is something called Krama Mukti, though in Kali Yuga, Krama Mukti is very, very, very difficult. Direct Mukti is easier in Kali Yuga than Krama Mukti. What is Krama Mukti? On the strength of your karma and upasanas, you go to Brahmaloka. The amount of karma and upasana you have to do to go to Brahmaloka is not possible in Kali Yuga when you have to earn a living. You can't do sadhana for 10-12 hours a day. You know? Unless you are a Nepo kid or a trust fund kid or something like that. Okay. But then if you are a trust fund kid, where are you going to grow? Where is the challenge of life, of earning? Your growth will not be there. Therefore, mental preparation will not be there. Let us say you did all the karma and all the upasanas necessary. Okay, and also remember, you have to live a life where you don't break a rule in the book. Clean life. Kali Yuga? Possible? Even for a monk building an ashram, it is not possible. People are saying, they are all Sindhis, Dadanis. Dad Lani, Dad Lani. They won't ask me directly. They'll say, समझिए हम आपके है ना आदमी, उनसे बात करेगा, हो जाएगा काम, हो जाएगा काम. Then quietly tell them, give me 10,000, give me. So in Kali Yuga, see, he did it, not me, but the buck stops with me, no? Buck doesn't stop with him. If I am the head, I am in charge. Buck stops with me. So in Kali Yuga, to live without an iota of papa karma, not possible. Kalau kalmashachittana, kalmashachitta, papa dravya upajeevanam. You are living on papa, he says. Why? For you to get something, somebody else has to lose something. Especially if you have made your money on the stock market. There is no production of wealth. There is only transfer. For one person to win, two others have to lose. 90% of the people who play the stock market lose. Out of the 10% that make money, 5% makes money by selling tips. Yeah, don't worry, I am going to come to all that question. Yeah. 10% make money on selling all the charts and the this and holding classes how to make money, etc., etc. They make more money out of that than on the stock market. And then they'll get their 500 students to buy into one share. If 500 students put 1 lakh rupees into a share, naturally it'll go up. How long will it last is the question. It's all a game. Anyway, so papa dravyopajeevanam. Okay. Vihita karma vihinanam. Who does all the vihita karmas anyway? If you do some prayers, is that etc. Bahut ho gaya. Therefore he says, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam. Do some japa, do some dhyana, at least will take care of your mind. But that is not enough to get you to Brahmaloka. But let us say you did it. With all that tapas, you went to Brahmaloka. Let us say there is this guy, 2026, he enters Brahmaloka. When will he learn from Brahmaji? End of the Kalpa. Right now creation is on. Lot of things are happening. Brahmaji is busy, he can't teach you. So at the end of the Kalpa, when Rudra takes over and the resolving starts, another 20,000 years. Brahmaji says, Bolo abhi, kya padna hai? Then what have you done in the last 20,000 years? Until Brahmaji could teach you, what have you done? Khaya, piya, maja kiya. You had some discussions with people. You argued with them because your idea and their idea doesn't match. You think two Vedantins agree? Unless you know the truth, they won't agree. Because they are spirited characters. Each one thinks his version of Vedanta is correct unless he has validated it. Even if you are not validated, you think, I got that experience, that's the right thing. And khaya piya maja kiya. From a life of discipline on earth, where you are doing 10-12 hours of sadhana every day, you went to a life of enjoyment. What do you think will happen to your mind? A life of enjoyment, bhoga, for 20,000 years. What will happen to the discipline? What will happen to the preparedness of mind? It will hanker for the new experience that you are getting. Hey, now time. Seriously, let me study. Really? Do you have a mind that is available? Then you have to understand what Brahmaji is saying. No? He is going to speak Vedic Sanskrit. which in Brahmaloka you would have picked up. So that's not a big issue. Okay. Yeah. How do you think you're going to speak to Ramba or Urvashi and all? In English, oh? So you, and if by chance you are evolved enough to understand, fine, moksha. If not, Brahma bhuvanan lokan punaravrtino arjuna. Back to base. You wasted 20,000 years. Should have had a rebirth within 50 years and picked up the thread from the parampara. That's why you keep paramparas going. Na? Why in my old age I'm putting up an ashram? Keep the parampara going. Let me contribute to creating some more teachers. Yeah. Are you getting the idea? Yeah. Then somebody asked whether Kailasa, Vaikunta, etc. They are all different names to Brahmaloka only. Different names, same loka. Okay, yeah. Okay. Then as I said, it's giving you an idea of time factors. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahuryad Brahmano Viduhu Ratri Yuga Sahasrantam Te Aharatra Vido Janaha. Purely Puranic, okay, or Vedic if you want to say. 1,000 yugas makes up one Brahmaji's day, and 1,000 yugas make his night. You can imagine how long it is. How long is Brahmaji's life? Even by your and my standards, we'll say 100 years max. Each day is 1,000 yugas. So how long is going to last? In between, mini kalpas will come and go. Mind-boggling concept of time. That's why it seems Narada had a problem of something that happened on earth. So he went to Brahmaloka to complain to Brahmaji. This has to be set right. So Brahmaji was having his bath. So his assistant said, he'll be out in a few moments. Brahmaji came out. Yes, Narada, what is your complaint? Don't worry, it has solved itself. Because hundreds of years have passed on earth, the problem doesn't exist anymore. Our politicians have learned this aspect very well. Why? Any problematic decision, put it in cold storage, hoping that it will get resolved. Yeah. They did that with Ram Janmabhoomi also. Yeah. Until a group of so-called fanatics took it into their hands to resolve it. We all call them fanatics, but the whole temple wouldn't have come up because of without them. So now you have to see whether they are really fanatic or they're just taking the decision out of the court onto the real life. Yeah. Even I thought they were being fanatical. Honestly, it's a confession I have to make. I supported the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, but that action I thought was extreme. But sometimes you need an extreme action. If a justice is not done, then what? In hindsight, they were right. We with a secular upbringing were wrong. Okay. So this is what life is. Then what is this whole creation? Avyakta Vyaktaya Sarvaha Prabhavanti Aharagame Ratri Agame Praliyante Tatraiva Yukta Sanyake. This creation that you call, when Brahmaji wakes up, whole creation is on. 1,000 yugas. When he goes to sleep in the night, pralaya. Simple. Brahmaji must be a champion sleeper, okay? Sleeps for 12 hours. This is my irreverent bhakti coming through, okay? Yeah. So when he wakes up, the whole creation is on. Like how? This is drawing an analogy with your life. When you wake up, world is on for you to interact with. When you go to sleep, everything is resolved. All that important work, etc. Reva de, tomorrow is another day. I had a very sensible boss for some time. He used to say this: relax, champ, tomorrow is another day. We have done enough for today. Good boss. She took the long-term perspective of things, which very few bosses do nowadays. Nowadays, bosses want everything yesterday, and then you send it to him. He is sitting in his inbox for the next few days. You work day and night to get it done, and it is sitting with him for 1 week without any action. Control freak, that's all. Yeah, bad boss. That's the type of boss never to become. Yeah. And then they will talk about just-in-time manufacturing. I mean, I know all this because I used to do a lot of corporate trading, including for this, getting the human beings ready for just-in-time manufacturing. And I used to tell the bosses this: how often have you asked people for things 5 days before you need it? And if you have done that often, or that's your style, you are not ready for just-in-time manufacturing. You'll be a miserable failure at it. Yeah.
There is an advanced version of just in time.
What is that?
Somehow in time.
Huh?
Somehow in time.
Somehow in time.
Somehow in time.
Yeah.
Abbreviates to SHIT.
Yeah. You're lurching from one emergency to another. One crisis to another. That's called managing by crisis.
And the abbreviation is even more.
What is that?
SHIT.
Huh?
SHIT. SHIT. Somehow in time.
Good one. I'll use it somewhere. Yeah. So, this is a long-term perspective of life. Okay. भूतग्रामं सेवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्रागमे अवशः पार्थ प्रवदन्ति अहरागमे. So it is simple, it says. When Brahmaji's night comes, everything is resolved. All that is manifest is resolved. And when his day starts, everything starts again. So this is the cyclic nature of time. If this is what time is about, and in all this, where are we? Correct? Your problems don't exist. It's a good perspective to have. When someone comes with a problem, okay, very often I am validating, etc., etc. But when they are cribbing too much, I always say, how important do you think it will be 5 years from today? 5 years from today, how important will the same thing be? 10 years from today, you would have probably forgotten it. Except some dim memory will be there. Yeah. Isn't it true? Look at your life. Things that you took as very important. The passage of time is not worth the effort here. Not worth wasting time and energy on it. Very few things are really worth time and energy. That's why I like that Gujarati expression. Rava de, rava de. Let it be. Yeah. What all are you going to worry about? Focus on your priorities. Priorities are important, yes. They'll give you a better direction in life. Okay. Then he says, there am I in all this, here is where I am. Parastasmatu bhavonyaha avyakto avyakta sanatanaha yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatu na vinashyati. Other than all this manifest, unmanifest condition. This manifest, unmanifest condition that goes on in life. Other than this, he says, okay, other than that, avyakta sanatana. Compared to this manifest, there is something not available for your sense organ, not manifest in that way, but which is sanatana, which is eternal, not conditioned by time and space. Yas sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Everything can be destroyed, everything can go into pralaya. That alone remains as consciousness. So all this manifestation, unmanifestation, etc. happens in that one consciousness. That's why he gave the experience of Brahmaji's day and night. Why? Your world manifestation on waking up, unmanifestation goes to sleep. Where? Into you, the consciousness. So for Brahmaji, the whole world, totality, goes into unmanifest condition, which is based on what? The consciousness that I am. So this vast expanse of time and space is based on what? You, the consciousness, that's it. So you, the consciousness, is the basis for all that is there in time and space. Nothing outside it. It seems a bit difficult to believe, when you are taking time and space at this level. But it is true. We have seen this before. What we call time is just a gap between events. We are talking of events of day, quartz, this thing, watches, this, that, etc. He is talking about time as thousands of yugas. First Satya Yuga, next event Dvapara, next event Treta, next event Kali, then Pralaya, mini Pralaya. Events in time, depending on you, the observer. Yeah, there is no experience of time and space. Yeah. So what is it? Observations. It all depends on you, the observer. No event without an observer. So yeah, Vedanta knowledge is not scientific, but there are enough arguments in science to support this knowledge. This knowledge stands by itself, but the arguments from science only help you understand it better, that's all. Why? Because the world we live in is a scientific world. So that's all that is there. All different measures of time. Whether you are measuring it in terms of days, nights, years, yugas, it's all measurement of time. No time without an observer. No time without an event. The gap between two events is time. No event without an observer. You are the observer of time. Time is dependent on you. You are independent of time. So what is he doing here? Taking my limited understanding of time, space, and how I am the truth of time in my life, expanding it to the whole cosmos. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Extend it to the whole cosmos. Where is the difference? If you are the truth of time right now, with respect to this minute, you are the truth of time with respect to the whole yuga. That doesn't change. Because yugas, kalpas, etc. are nothing but measurements of time. If you are the truth of time, you are always the truth of time. Irrespective of how long the time is. Anyway, physically we are not going to see a yuga, no? Except this one, Kali Yuga. Yeah. You can't even archaeologically fix up a yuga. You think a fossil is going to survive 20,000 years? Unless it's natural fossils. No fossil of what? Of Satya Yuga weapons have been found. How do you expect to find it? 1 lakh years. You think anything will survive in nature for 1 lakh years? Unless it's a mountain or something like that, even that doesn't survive. Mountains change. I remember when I first saw Gomukh, it was at one point. Today, the same point is quarter kilometer receded. Why? I'm talking about 40 years. If 40 years so much of change can happen, what do you expect? Yeah. Over 4 lakh years. Yeah. And in all this vast expanse of time and space, what is the reality? I, the consciousness. That's the only reality that is there. Everything else is manifestations. Everything else is a nice game going on. Enjoy the game. That way, when we made temples, etc., some of them we made to last. Some of them lasted in spite of itself. Like when Rama came to Rameshwaram after winning the battle, he made a small linga out of sand to worship. His prayaschitta karma. It lasted. I don't think Rama planned it to last. He was putting a temporary structure for him to do the puja. It lasted. We don't know. It's the same linga or yeah. Rama was more than 20,000 years ago if you go by the Puranas and the Itihasas. Even if you go by modern historians, etc., it's about 6,000, 7,000 BC. You think a sand linga will last that long? Some king must have made it. That's okay. Lord is everywhere. You can invoke something to manifest it. Yeah. Therefore he says that is what it is. Ya bhut sarveshu bhuteshu natsyatu na vinashyati. All this can come to an end. But the consciousness remains. You know, in the Shuddha Advaita tradition, Pushti Margis, purely bhakti oriented, okay? They worship Krishna in two forms. One is Thakurji, where Krishna is looked upon as you have to nurture him, Bala Gopala. So every morning you will wake him up, you will give him a bath, you will give him food, you will give him this. It's a big emotional play. The other is worshipped as Dwarkadisha, king of Dwarka. Where is Dwarka now? Underwater. Okay, around 5000 BC, if you go by archaeology. So Dwarka can go under. What about any of our cities? Sarveshu pranasya na pranashyati. It's only the consciousness that doesn't change. Everything else keep changing. Geopolitical realities will keep changing. Everything will keep changing. Only you remain. And we are talking about preserving heritage buildings. How old are they? 100-year-old. Is it some architectural wonder? No. Deco art. Marine Drive. Deco art. What deco art? It doesn't look great anyway. But human beings want to hold on to some stabilizing influence. And no influence is stabilizing enough. Only you, the reality is. So shift focus on what you really are. Let things come and go. It's okay. You don't have to worry about it. Like the old saying goes, what will happen, when will happen, happen. Correct. In between, you try to preserve some heritage, some culture, some this thing. All that is good. There is a transactional reality about it. A vyavaharika satyam given to that. Do what's necessary. But learn to take a long-term perspective of the whole thing. Yeah. So culturally speaking, this heritage is worth protecting, preserving, passing it on. Because the only culture that will say it won't last. The only culture that will say you are the only thing that will last. And that's the beauty of it. Where it frees you. All other cultures and civilizations keep you going in samsara. This is the one culture that has the freedom from samsara in the picture. Therefore it is worth it. Therefore it's worth preserving parampara, all that thing. Yeah, then this idea goes forward in the next few verses. Goes forward, which we will see next time. Good place to stop. And for those who attend my Brahma Sutra class, tomorrow no